So have you ever thought about what would happen if the Earth just disappeared? I don't mean blown up or anything, I mean stolen. Just gone. Snatched from its orbit and hidden somewhere you couldn't even imagine. Well, believe it or not, there's a story that says this exact thing happened. The universe's balance was thrown so completely out of whack, it's just an incredible story. So let's get right into it.
Wow, that one line, it just sets the stage for something massive, doesn't it? And you get this feeling right away, this wasn't some random accident, like an asteroid or something. Nope, this was personal. This was an act of pure will, born from an arrogance so huge it wanted to take creation itself apart at the seams. So who exactly was this shadow? Who could possibly have the power and, let's be honest, the sheer audacity to challenge the entire cosmic order? Well, to get a handle on the crisis, we first have to understand the threat.
Okay, so who is this guy? His name is Hiranyaksha. It means golden-eyed. And yeah, he was strong, like legend-level strong. But that wasn't the real danger. The thing that made him a universe-level threat? His pride. It was just endless. He honestly believed he was the most powerful thing in existence, and man was he determined to prove it to everyone.
And he wasted no time proving it. His rise to power was just shockingly fast. He wasn't just winning battles, he was steamrolling entire worlds. First, he took over all the other demon kingdoms. Easy. Then, he set his sights on the celestial warriors and bait them too. Pretty soon, his reputation was so terrifying that the gods themselves would literally turn and run the other way.
And this pretty much says it all about his ego, right? After he'd beaten everyone, there was no one left to fight, and he wasn't happy about it. He was furious. He saw their fear not as a win, but as an insult. He was like an apex predator who had run out of worthy opponents.
Okay, so having proven that nobody could stand up to him, Hiranyaksha's ambition took a turn. He decided to go after something way more fundamental. He wasn't targeting a kingdom or an army anymore. He was targeting the very foundation of life. And this is the moment the story goes from being a threat to a full-blown cosmic crisis.
You see, in his mind, the Earth, who is also the goddess Bhudevi, wasn't this sacred, life-giving force. To him, she was just another thing to conquer. A trophy, something he could take to prove his total and complete dominance over all of creation. It's the ultimate act of disrespect.
So he does the unthinkable. He literally grabs the Earth with his massive power and yanks it down into the cosmic ocean, this infinite primordial sea. He pulls our entire world down into the crushing blackness of the abyss, hiding it where he was sure no one could ever get it back.
The effect was instant, and it was catastrophic. I mean, you can't just remove the Earth and expect things to be fine. The laws of the universe, both physical and spiritual, just started to fall apart. Mountains crumbled, oceans boiled, and all life everywhere was pushed right to the edge of extinction.
With everything falling apart, the terrified gods were desperate, begging for someone, anyone, to help. It looked totally hopeless. But sometimes the answer to a problem that seems impossibly big comes from the last place you'd ever think to look.
And that was the question, wasn't it? This was on everybody's mind. Even for Brahma, the creator god, this looked like an unsolvable puzzle. The cosmic ocean is infinitely deep, the pressure can crush anything, and you've got this unbeatable tyrant guarding his prize. What could possibly work?
So as Brahma is sitting there meditating on this impossible problem, something really, really weird happens. From his nostril, a tiny little creature emerges. Not a great warrior, not some cosmic weapon, just a tiny being. You can imagine the gods just staring completely baffled.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The entire universe is on the brink of collapse, and the answer that appears is no bigger than your thumb. A tiny little boar. You've got to be kidding me, right? What in the world is that going to do against a demon who makes gods run for the hills?
And then the magic happens. In just a few seconds, this little thumb-sized boar starts to grow and grow, and it keeps growing until it's the size of a mountain, and its roar literally shakes the heavens. It's a perfect example of how divine power just doesn't follow our rules. Because, of course, this wasn't just any animal. This was the preserver of the universe, Lord Vishnu, who had taken on a very specific form, an avatar, for this one specific mission. This was Varaha, the divine boar,
and he was here to fix things.
So, with his purpose clear, Varaha dives straight into that cosmic ocean. He goes down and down and down into that crushing darkness until he finds the stolen Earth. But of course, he also finds its kidnapper. The stage was set for a showdown of epic proportions.
You know, even when he's staring down a divine boar the size of a mountain, Hiranyaksha's arrogance doesn't even flinch. He doesn't see a god, he just sees another challenger, another beast. You can just feel the contempt in that question, can't you? It really sets the tone for the fight.
So this fight, it wasn't just about physical strength. It was really a battle of ideas. On one side, you've got Hiranyaksha, and he's all about rage, ego, and the destructive power of a tyrant. And on the other side, you have Varaha, who's armed with these celestial tusks, but is driven by a divine purpose, to protect and preserve creation.
The battle that followed was just so huge, so incredibly powerful, that the shockwaves from it were felt in every corner of the universe. Even though it was happening in the deepest, darkest part of that cosmic ocean, the entire cosmos was trembling with every single blow.
After a battle that felt like it lasted forever, the final moment came. Varaha, channeling all the power of the divine, he saw his opening. It just took one single powerful strike from his tusk, and that was it. The tyrant was finally defeated.
So the demon is gone. The great fight is over. But the job's not done yet. Now comes the really important part, fixing all the damage and bringing the world back from the very brink of disaster. Let's get to the resolution.
And this is the image everyone remembers from this story. The same tusks that were a devastating weapon are now used so carefully. Varaha just gently lifts the earth, carrying her all the way up from the abyss, and carefully, gently, putting her right back where she belongs in the cosmos. At last, balance was restored.
So why do we still tell this story thousands of years later? Well, because it's really about a timeless idea. It's telling us that whenever arrogance and ego and all those destructive forces threaten the world, a protective power, the divine, will always rise up to make things right again.
And that, to me, is the coolest part of this whole thing. The solution, the divine intervention, it showed up in a way nobody could have predicted. It started out as something tiny, something everyone probably overlooked. And it just makes you think, right? When we face our own huge problems today, when things feel totally out of balance, what unexpected form might that protector, that solution, take for us?